Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody from all around the world, it's Friday, and hello and welcome to another episode of The Watchman with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Let's make some noise, clap it up, get excited, wherever you are. We are back with another action-packed show for you on today, the end of the week strong. On this Friday afternoon, here's the championship rounds. You all control the conversation for the entirety of the show. Make some noise, get excited, get up out of your seat, whether you're at your car, on your job, at your home, with a co-worker, friend. I don't care who you are, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. Tell everybody that you know this is the hottest show in all of the globe. And if you're tuning in, please go ahead, leave a like on the stream, go on and comment your thoughts and opinions in the chat down below. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Come on and join the empire. Yes, indeed, be a part of the fastest growing media mogul or monolith in all of sports media, and be sure to keep on sharing the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make this possible. As well as if you want to support the channel, hey, we got Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description. We got super chats, super gifts, and all that stuff. If you would like to support the channel, it means the world to me, helps me to pay the bills, and helps to make the show bigger, better, and grander, all for your viewing and listening pleasure. But we got a whole bunch of stuff that we gotta delve into today with some drama that I told y'all was coming. Did not say yesterday. We're gonna see some more stuff with Virgil Ortiz by the week's end, and lo and behold, we got some stuff going on. Oh my, indeed, with some suing going on between Virgil Ortiz and the essentially the regime of Oscar De La Hoya and GOLDENBOY. We gotta cover that. We gotta cover the fact that Canelo has a big announcement in his return of not just the date, but who exactly is going to be the opponent. They tease it's going to be somebody huge, somebody big, somebody absolutely incredible. My question is, who is that person going to be? All that and so much more we're going to talk about right here on this show. So we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening. And if you hey, we got sports to cover. We got the boxing to delve into. We got opinions to get involved with. And we want to hear your voice and your takes on it all. As again, it is the championship rounds. So we want you to be able to control the entirety of the show. So with all that being said, we're going to jump into right now the World Championship rounds. We're going to jump into you all's opinions. And let's jump right to the show, shall we? It is time to step into the ring. Come on. Come on. Let's get it started. Ring the bell. Let's get it going. Round one of the championship round edition of this show. Had to make sure my door, what show, we don't want to be bleeding any sound out throughout the masses. Want to make sure we keep the audio quality as best as we can. Absolutely. I got my tea, I got my energy, and I got you all the people helping me out. So let's see what you all got to say in the chat down below. Absolutely. As we got, I need a bro. What's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. Virgil always wanted the smoke. Come on now, man. Also, good morning. Look, good morning to you. Absolutely. And we're so excited about this whole endeavor. Yes, indeed. Get excited. We clapping and we all in the tizzy, because this is a big deal in the world of boxing. And let's break it down, shall we? Let's go on and break it down right here, right now. If you did not know, for those of you just tuning in, hey, big time fight going on outside the ring as now Virgil Ortiz has sued the likes of Oscar De La Hoya in light. Yeah, we had some problems. You're doggone right to y'all. We got ourselves an old-fashioned business-wide slobber knocker in the world of boxing right now, because if you did not know, I'll even post it right here in the world of picture-in-picture. You can see exactly what's going on, and you can, not my words, but the quote, the public themselves to tell you all how this is going about. Hey, Virgil Ortiz has now officially filed a lawsuit to terminate his promotional contract with Golden Boy, per Ring Magazine has learned. Ortiz's attorney cited declaratory relief, breach of contract, interference with a prospective economic advantage, and the end of Golden Boy's exclusive content partnership with DAZN as grounds that for ending that agreement. And to make this all as plain as I can, essentially they're declaring, hey, we should be able to get out of our contract because you are getting directly in the way, in terms of Oscar De La Hoya, of my ability as a fighter to make money with these negotiations with Jon Boots Ennis. And more so got kicked off by the fact that really you went and predetermined, hey, I'm gonna set a hard date as an end to all of this negotiations. You don't respond to me by then, we're gonna be moving on. And Virgil and his team were like, hey man, don't be doing that. We still want to talk. Don't try to end this stuff when we still want to make this fight. Yes, we want our fair share, but don't be trying to go and say we're giving ultimatum of the highest of accords. Either you do what I say and you walk. We didn't agree to that, and so now you're infringing on our money. You're infringing on our rights as a fighter on your promotion. You're infringing on our ability to leverage our advantage to get the maximum money in this fight. And with the fact that this fight is also has been very much talked about as a needed necessity for Golden Boy to be able to renew their deal with DAZN as an all-around partnership in promotions, as to where to show their fights. This essentially is a part of the package, and you're not letting this go through either, and you're essentially using this fight in me as a fighter as a leveraging chip in a negative way. You better believe, hey, we won out of this, and I told you it was going to happen. I told you. We got some problems. I may tell a joke, but I won't tell a lie. I told you that this was going to happen. That if we're going to see the same thing that happened with Ryan Garcia, with Canelo Alvarez, that Berlanga was complaining about with the likes of De La Hoya, and why all the biggest stars in his promotion have completely gone away, up in smoke, completely got evaporated from the stable of Golden Boy Promotions, is going to be this pattern will follow yet again. And lo and behold, like I said, like clockwork, it has happened yet again that they have flew the coop and are looking to get out of this deal with Golden Boy. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Good on him. Good on him. Good on him, my friend. Because I told you, we, like I said, that's why I made the look. You know me, y'all know me. We were unbiased with this entire affair. We were tracking the entire build-up to this fight with Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, were we not? Even before the Lima fight, all the way back at 147, we aptly switched the blame as to why this fight wasn't happening. Correctly so, depending on how the movements of each fighter was going about. First, it was Boots' fault because he wasted time at 147. Yes, he got unified, but he said he should have already been at 154. He held up that fight initially. Comes up here, calls for tune-ups, then goes from 2 to 3 to 1 and all that stuff. He still holds up the fight. Subsequently after, he fights Lima. He steps in the ring with Virgil Ortiz after his fight with Lubin when he knocked him out in 2 rounds. They get in each other's face. Boots said, you want this fight with me or not? Virgil Ortiz says yes. They both agree they want the fight. Now Boots is not part of the problem. Eddie Hearn pushed okay, we're going to negotiate to make this happen. Afterwards, Virgil Ortiz said he wanted Spence if he could make his next fight. We said that was a no-no. That was bad. Virgil Ortiz aptly got the blame. Then we got to the negotiation table. And then it went to his manager, was holding up, rightfully so, these negotiations and messing up this fight talk. And then De La Hoya got involved on the forefront and he took full reins, correctly so. As Virgil Ortiz sat back quietly and didn't say anything about, hey, I didn't say I didn't want this fight. And Oscar De La Hoya went through, started out pricing, started trying to throw his weight around, and started throwing a wrench in all the systems, and he became the biggest pitfall as to why this fight is not happening. And now it's all coming to a head that yes, it's right. He is the problem. He was the dilemma. He was the fork in the road. Not even fork in the road. He was the pothole that was causing everything to go awry. And everything to go in terrible circumstance for why this fight wasn't happening. And he is the dead weight that now Virgil Ortiz is trying to shake off, renege, lose, so that he can have the capacity to move as a way that he wants to move, or move in a way that he wants to move as a fighter. That's what's been going on. That's what's happening. And it's a shame, because I said it was coming and now it's officially arrived. But let me see. Virgil was a dog. All this talk about him being a duck was never true. People just didn't realize these people were behind the scenes. Yeah. Like, yeah, and that's why I said I said it Tuesday. And I think I also said it Thursday. The belief of De La Hoya, the people around Virgil Ortiz, was not there that Virgil Ortiz could beat Boots Ennis. Though Virgil, and I said this multiple times, wholeheartedly believes he can beat him, wholeheartedly wants that fight, is looking for that fight to take place, is LARPing as much as he can to have this opportunity not pass him by. That's the real situation. He was looking for this opportunity not to pass him by. I've said this before. Y'all know this. It's the biggest payday of Virgil Ortiz's career. It's the biggest fight Virgil Ortiz can make right now. It's a guaranteed opportunity for Virgil Ortiz to get a championship, a championship chance right in front of him. He wins this fight, he gets a shot in any world title that he wants as the biggest name in the division. There is no debate. He beats Boots. He takes Boots' shine to some degree and adds it to his already boogeyman level cachet. Now everybody's looking at Boots, or at Virgil, as not only is he the man to beat, but now he's got the backings of the public behind him in notoriety. This is the biggest stage he would have ever been on. Everything would line up to have Virgil Ortiz get ready for a multi-million-dollar affair and to make millions of dollars down the line. And it is all of that is too much to lose, even if you want yourself to have a real advantage in the business end of these talks. But again, it was and still is Oscar De La Hoya who has sabotaged all of this movement to make this fight happen. We even got interviews with like Robert Garcia saying, hey man, if I was going to move how I would want to move, I just want the fight to happen. Look, okay, we got to bite the bullet. We do what we got to do. Okay, fine. This is the thing that we need. We going to make it happen. Plain and simple. Virgil, he does want it. I said it before and I say it again. He does want this fight. What looked like a very dangerous sentiment when he was talking about Errol Spence Jr., which again, I still hate that he was talking about it, was incredibly problematic. We did address it. But he never shot down at all that he did not want this fight to happen. And in negotiations, he had kept completely quiet in reference to what he felt he deserved or not deserved. It was his manager and then his promoter. And that was the promoter specifically that is ruining everything that this fight can be. Because, again, like I said, I don't think he has a belief. And it looks like now They calling his bluff. Either make the fight or we suing your butt and we're gonna get what we can eat. We can get without you being there. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. I'm telling you that's exactly what's about to take place. Let me see, Tay, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show on this Friday afternoon. We appreciate you all joining in. We appreciate you all listening in. Please keep on liking the stream. Keep on sharing the show. Keep on telling everybody about what we got going on right here on the Welch Report. And I would love to see what you all have to say. No question about it. But let me see your chat right here so I can read it off. After Boots smoked Virgil, y'all will see why Oscar wanted to protect him. Hey, maybe so. Like I said, whatever the outcome of that fight is, if you think Boots would be the brakes off of Virgil Ortiz, if you think Jerron Ennis would go and completely whitewash the likes of Virgil in the ring, okay, fine. Hey, I'm not gonna fight you. It's a true 50-50 fight. That if somebody got the advantage one way or the other, yeah, it could end in a very dominating night for either Boots or Virgil. And you think it's gonna be Boots that got his hand raised in total victory? Okay, fine, cool. Credit to you. No problem. No problem at all. The main issue is you cannot have this fight not happen. You can't have this fight simply just pass you by. And you, again, and Oscar De La Hoya have been a thorn in multi-people's side. It would be even easier, let's say hypothetically he did lose, to keep the relationship with Oscar De La Hoya. It will be even more advantageous just to keep the relationship, if you're Oscar De La Hoya, with Virgil Ortiz, and just make the fight. Because you know there's nothing better and bigger than where you are right now with this fight in front of you. As well, you built up this man and Virgil Ortiz to be able to handle the likes of Boots Ennis and anybody else at 154 that may try to come his way. As we've been saying, he is a dominant force to be reckoned with, which Virgil Ortiz is. You say they should beat it. This is where you said he belongs. This is his domain. This is the very structure of dominance that you said Virgil deserves to be at. And now you're essentially pulling back on the leash instead of letting the dog run free. Let him show what he can do. Prove to us in a money-making situation that he's as bad as he says that he is. And even if he loses, you would still have him at your stable because, hey, you gave me the fight I wanted. You gave me the opportunity that I was looking for. You did not allow for me not to have a chance at glory when I was attempting to be great. And you didn't shut me down. So because of that, hey, absolutely, I want to stick around. But now you're about to lose. You're about to lose your biggest star for nothing, potentially. Shoot, we could see Virgil Ortiz potentially sign with the zone straight up, or Metro straight up, if this lawsuit does indeed go through, and he wins. Him and his team win. If that's the case, oh my, y'all better watch out because it can get dangerous very quickly. It can get dangerous very quickly. But again, I told you all this was going to take place. I said it was going to happen, and now it's going to happen. Now, if we want to go down the rabbit hole of whether or not we can actually think that Boots will beat Virgil Ortiz, and if you think if you think that the optics, like we said yesterday, are showing more confidence that, hey, Boots might be able to take it, okay, fine. We can have a conversation. But here's what it is right now. Because the rubber's hitting the road. Virgil Ortiz is calling Oscar's bluff. And you standing 10 toes down? And Oscar, you better capitulate or else you're going to lose the only other big star that you got. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be very, very bad. But let me see. What options does he have now? In terms of Virgil Ortiz, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what happens up until everything might be stagnant up until this lawsuit is over. Everything with Virgil Ortiz might be stagnant for the time being in terms of fight options up until this lawsuit is over. If he loses the lawsuit with Oscar De La Hoya, then all of a sudden he's stuck with him. He's stuck in a contract. But if he wins it, he can go sign with, okay, hey, this contract has been breached. You are able to be relinquished from your contract, and you're officially free to sign with anybody as a free agent. Start your own promotion. I don't care what you do. You are able to. You are out of Golden Boy officially, and then you can either go and pursue Matchroom, sign with them just to make the fight that you want to make happen. You can sign with Top Rank. You can sign with Quisenberry. You can sign with whoever. You can sign with MVP for all I care. You can sign with anybody. And the options that he has, but in terms of like the options that he has in the ring, I mean, he's got many of them. Yes, he can try to vie for a fight with Fundora. Sure. Yes, Virgil Ortiz can go and look for, to try to get one of the Xander Zayas. Look to try to get a fight with Xander Zayas. Hypothetically, he can go and do that. He can. But from the biggest of options, there's no better chance to elevate yourself or make the biggest payday out of anybody else that you can fight in this division, which is true. There's nobody else right now that brings the amount of money that the likes of Virgil Ortiz versus Boots does, period. And because this is a fight that's getting talked about nearly as much as Shakur versus Tio, which is happening in Madison Square Garden, heart of New York City. One of the most highly anticipated pound-for-pound matchups that we've got in boxing today between two people that are young, ain't got a big following. And this fight is being talked about on par with that. There's no fight better. And you would be a fool not to have this opportunity under your nose. But in situations like this, the fool may just be what's going down. In situations like this, the fool may just be what exactly we're seeing right now. It's a shame. It's frustrating. It is indeed hard. Oh, it's bad. But that's the reality. The main answer is there is no other choice. There is no other choice for where Virgil Ortiz is right now within Golden Boy. And don't let him leave and make this fight all of a sudden gets made easy with some other promoter able just to come through and do what they need to do outright. Don't let that happen, because if that happens, I mean, that's going to be a huge indictment and a further evidence to the lack of ability that we have been seeing when it comes to Oscar De La Hoya as a promoter to go and help the fighters that he's supposed to be building up, and not just building up, but helping to thrive in their careers. It's going to be a hindrance. Huge hindrance. Major hindrance. It's going to stifle all type of momentum. It's going to, I'm telling you, I promise you, it will stifle all of it. It will stifle all of it. And more, we'll see more people leave him. We will see more people leave Oscar De La Hoya if this, in fact, does go through with this lawsuit. I guarantee, I promise you, this is a slippery slope. That was the worst situation for Oscar De La Hoya. No question about it. No question about it. It was one of the worst outcomes we could have experienced. That Oscar De La Hoya, with everything, essentially has a green light for the most make sense, fan-friendly, and fighter-wanted type of bout from both fighters. They're going to get this fight on. And you sold it. How do you sell this? That's the thing. That doesn't make any sense. How do you sell this type of big opportunity? How do you falter and not get this done when you are aiming to make stars for this very moment. How do you mess that up? It's it is legitimately laughable. It's legitimately laughable, if not just outright disgusting. In a multiplicity of ways, it's laughable as well as just straight up flat out just sad. That's really what it is. It's just sad. Like I'm all legit. I'm not trying to stumble over my words, but I'm almost at a loss for words because this doesn't make this type of give me with everything else going on in this division. What this was supposed to be the domino that caused everything to fall over, and now it's just poof. This was the domino that was supposed to get everything at 154 to roll. All of the excitement, all the energy of this division, all of the major matchups, everything involving this type of highly valued and wanted fight. It all was supposed to be here. It all was supposed to start here. It all was supposed to start with this, and now it's poof. And it's a shame. And it's why he got spoken out against by so many fighters. And this is why now we see where we are with him as a fighter, or in terms of with him in this whole situation. Just completely in fits. It's completely in fits, and it's a shame. It's outright shame. But even still, we got more stuff that we can cover in this show. It's still the championship rounds. We still want to hear from you in regards to everything involving this news, as well as other things in the boxing world. And we also got the likes of Canelo that we do need to cover, that we can cover in the world of boxing. Because if we also didn't hear, we now have big confirmed evidence, and not even confirmed evidence, that we got an official date for the return of Canelo Alvarez, with him coming back into the sport of boxing off of his surgery. Yes, indeed, it's been confirmed now that, yes, we speculated and we were talking about he was going to have a fight in September, and he was going to have a fight in September. And now it's been confirmed, I believe it's September 14th, that fight will indeed take place. And because that fight is now taking place, we got some major news seemingly from Turkey Al Sheikh that there's going to be a huge type of fight coming about, coming about for Canelo Alvarez. And we should be pretty privy to be getting excited for, but I'll let him tell you himself as we delve back into the world of picture in picture.
Wait for us in September, 12th of September, big fight. And this will be the first card for Canelo promotion. It will be name of Mexico against the world. All the fighters from the team of Canelo against the world. And the champion in the main event in world title, and it will be a surprise in Saudi Arabia, inshallah.
All right, well, you heard it. You heard it there first now. Oh, wait a minute now. Hold up. Wait a second. If you heard that, September 12th, the return, Canelo doing an all Mexico affair. When saying Mexico versus the world under Canelo Promotions, and it's going to be laden with not just everybody from Canelo's stable or under his banner promotional claim, but there's going to be a world title opportunity with Canelo as the headliner, and it's going to be with him at the top of the mountain. Oh boy, who's going to be the man to get to fight for the strap against one of the greatest super middleweights that we've had in the world of boxing today? Oh man, coming back strong. And there's a litany of options now. Like I said, we've been rumored about. Will he fight against Hamzat Shiraz for the WBC title? Will it finally go through again with Canelo, with Crawford relinquishing all the belts with his retirement? Now we're ready to see. Does he still got it? Because apparently, but it ain't going to be no tune-up. Ain't going to be no waiting around. He's taking a fight, and the potential is going to be a big fight. And knowing Turkey, especially I was trying to build up this thing, boy, it's going to be a huge affair against somebody that ain't going to be a pushover. If we go by how we normally see the likes of Turkey cards normally go, especially if it's for a world championship. I would love to see who you all think is going to be the man that Canelo does fight. But it is a huge deal because for the first fight back in Canelo, when we were saying that we should get some, low-level rep, look to try to refacilitate where his body is right now, as he's now 36, 37 years old, getting up in age. The prime of his career is nearly gone as a boxer. He needs to, he wants to still be dominant at this division. Though we can say that, hey, I don't feel nobody else would be able to beat, or I still feel he would be the favorite, in this division against anybody that he fights against. There still needs to be a kind of audit of who you are. And with that audit going up against lower level competition, at least not at this level of world, immediate acclaim, though that's where he's always going to be. I did say directly after that fight, hey, he probably going to get a world title shot immediately next. Immediately next. And now this is where we are. So I would love to see who you all think is going to take place as we now get an official date for Canelo's return on September 12th. How do you think this elbow surgery is going to affect Canelo for better or for worse? Will it be that, okay, hey, he's back to up to snuff and everything's going to be right in dandy for him? Or will it be a string of a start of a litany of issues that will help to further degrade what Canelo can be as time goes on? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But let me see. Teddy Berkshire, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Let me see. Nikita Sue fighting tonight, young brother of Tim Sue. Okay, I did not know he was fighting it. Okay, well, get excited for that as the younger brother of Tim Sue is going to be fighting tonight, I believe in Australia. I'm assuming it's in Australia. Now, tonight may be a little bit different from the standpoint of what time tonight, because again, I'm over here in the States, so it could be afternoon for us, regardless of which. Regardless of which, it's going to be a very interesting affair. But let me see what you all got to say. Virgil don't want that smoke. Okay, in regards to Virgil Ortiz. And truth, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for showing up on the show with us today. As I got my tea, I got my energy, I was able to eat, everything's all exciting. And again, this is the championship rounds. Don't forget, you all can control the whole of the conversation as you all drive everything involving how this show is going to take place and what you want to say on today. Let me see, Teddy, Aussie at 7 hour time. Okay, so it's gonna be at 7 o'clock at over there. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like over here. Well, hopefully it might be happening midday actually over here, but I'm not good with time zones. We're going to figure it out. But regardless of which, yep, you're right. Sue is fighting Zarafa, absolutely. But with Virgil Ortiz and this whole conversation going back to the other topic at hand, Virgil is the one trying to get out of this promotion so that he can fight Boots. Again, we got to paint the picture correctly now. You can say that Boots will beat him. That's perfectly fine. But we can't say, based off of this move, that Virgil does not want to fight. Again, it's everybody else around Virgil Ortiz that does not believe in Virgil Ortiz. Oscar De La Hoya doesn't believe in Virgil Ortiz. That's the biggest issue. Oscar De La Hoya does not believe in Virgil Ortiz to make this fight happen. And so because of that, he's stifling these negotiations and speaking for Virgil and his team when they're saying, hey, this ain't the case. And so what does Virgil feel like? Feels like you're robbing me out of money, which is one of the things that he's suing Oscar De La Hoya for. So this is, it is a monster of a dangerous sentiment that Oscar De La Hoya brought on himself. And if Virgil Ortiz wins this, he's gonna lose Virgil Ortiz for nothing. He's gonna lose his biggest star without making any money at all. When this was the very platform they were supposed to get his money up to. That's the thing. Oscar wants to make the fight because the zone is forcing it. They haven't been making a major profit off of Golden Boy. From what I'm understanding with the lawsuit, Virgil Ortiz and his people feel that Oscar is hindering their ability to make money by going about these negotiations in the way that he's going. He's the one that is stifling this fight from happening by speaking for Virgil when that is not what they're trying to do, and getting them out of an opportunity for a major money gander. I'll even read off the specifics of said lawsuit. Lawsuit been filed, and I read it at the top of the show. Attorney cited declaratory relief, breach of contract, interference with prospective economic advantage, and the end of Golden Boy's exclusive content partnership with the Zone as grounds for ending this that agreement, or essentially the agreement that he's got with the contract with Golden Boy and De La Hoya, owner of Golden Boy. So I strongly don't believe, based on the evidence given, that it is Virgil and his team trying to stifle this fight from happening. All signs are pointing to, especially with this lawsuit, that it is Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions that is in Virgil Ortiz's team's view. And with Virgil Ortiz also part of this lawsuit, Virgil Ortiz himself, feeling as though that you are stopping me from getting this fight made. And because of that, he'll walk. Because of that, he'll walk. You know, he's trying to get out of it. So, man, it's going to be very interesting. See how this all unfolds as time goes on. Let me see. I got Shakur with a rare KO over Teofimo Lopez. Well, I just don't think that's going to happen. I do not believe that that's going to happen. Now, this ain't like what we said with Dalton Smith, where I said that Dalton Smith can got some serious pop. However, it's been a situation where Sabrina Matias and his chin, I just thought was going to be able to take that level of punishment because he's been doing it every single time out. This ain't like that. This is the situation. We're seeing the likes of a non-puncher who, mind you, he can throw. He really can. From the standpoint of he has a better offensive repertoire than many people may have expected or were surprised to see. Not me, but when he fought against Zepeda. But from a power perspective, I don't think he's going to be knocking Teofimo out. Now, he can probably land some harder shots, so we may realize he's probably going to have to make it so that Shakur, or to add another layer of respect that Teal's going to need to put on him. But I don't think he's going to knock him out. If he does, yes, I will be surprised. Especially with the fact that brittle hands are such a big nomenclature for the likes of Shakur Stevenson. Say like Devin Haney when we were saying the brother just doesn't want to punch hard. He's got pillow fists, and also the way that he punches, and there wasn't ever seemingly to be, okay, he can carry some real pop. Now he showed it against Brian Over Jr. at 147. Okay, maybe this weight class will garner that power that we've been waiting to see. But it was a shock nonetheless. This time, I don't know if it's going to happen. But it could be. Could be. It's always a possibility. Don't take, you land in the right spot. Don't take much to put somebody out. But boy, I don't see it. At least for me, I just don't see that fight going that way. But it could be that Shakur does win. It could be. No question about it. Let me see. I heard he is back in bed with the mythical Al Heyman. It gets made up, so it could be a setup. Now, Oscar De La Hoya did make right, or rather, per Oscar De La Hoya's words, he made right with Al Heyman, and seemingly they're all buddy again. You know, again, but many people, like I've said before, many people have better inside information on these relationships with what Al Heyman, Oscar De La Hoya, and all these other interpersonal relationships behind the scenes with how promoters move with each other. They have that better than me. Just so you all know. So if I'm giving you wrong information or I'm giving you something that isn't fully there, just know, giving you the best that I can garner. There's plenty of people that have more info than me. Go search those reporters and informers and very much more in depth on the business and people. Search them out, please. Please do. Whether it's other channels, other podcasters, other straight up reporters, do that. Because absolutely. Because they have more information than me on that regard as to the specifics of these relationships in this interweb business behind the scenes. But if this is a setup by Oscar De La Hoya to work with Al Haymon or to get all a big master plan, I think it's backfiring. I think it's backfiring. I truly do. Because after this, if Oscar loses Virgil Ortiz, who does he have in his stable still? It's not many recognizable names on a wide acclaim. Ain't many at all. So for this to be a sacrifice for that type of move, I don't know that's smart. I don't know that's smart. Let me see. Oscar want to cash in on him. We don't know for sure if Virgil beats Fundora. We don't. We don't. That's exactly why he needs to fight Boots. That's exactly why he needs to fight Boots. Mind you, both of them do not have a belt. One of the biggest gripes is that both of them are unproven in the world of championship level from the perspective of you haven't fought for a title yet. We've been saying Virgil Ortiz has been mandatory for years. And ain't gotten an opportunity. Some of it's his fault. Or some of it is not his fault, excuse me. Some of it is. Boots, coming at 154, hasn't proven himself yet. Which again, because he just got here. Whoever wins this is most likely guaranteed a championship opportunity. Why would you take a fight with Fundora, you lose to Fundora, because Fundora is not easy to beat. We can say Virgil Ortiz is a better fighter. Ain't no way in the world that we can say for certain that, yeah, it's 100%. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz is going to win that fight. He loses to Fundora. Now, that stock that you take, if you do finally, say, yeah, let's finally get Boots. We've damaged goods. Let's go on and get it now. Well, you shot yourself in the foot. The fight's not nearly as hyped up as it was going to be. And you're going to get a very lowball portion of the revenue because of that loss. You lost your pal. Might as well go on and take the fight now. Because it needs to happen. It needs to. Because you better cash in and do it now, because if you don't, it's going to be bad. Let me see, Ryan Garcia was complaining about it, and the main reason Canelo left his butt too. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is all just a cycle restarting again. Again, if you didn't know, with what's been going on in major respects with De La Hoya, this has been a pattern for years of fighters being very much angry, disrespected, and completely, essentially lowball out of their revenue and out of their ability to be the stars that they feel that they should have been able to be. And because of that, that's why you keep seeing people say Oscar De La Hoya is stealing money. Oscar De La Hoya is stealing revenue. Oscar De La Hoya is a crook. He's a criminal. He doesn't care about the fighters. He doesn't care about what we have to offer. He should be out of the sport. That's why you see these types of comments. That's why you see every time somebody goes into a cross-promotional thing with De La Hoya, every other fighter that talks goes at De La Hoya. Because they see him as a plight because of stuff like this. Specifically because of stuff like this. It's a shame. It's a real shame. But let me keep on reading what you all gotta say. Let me see. Truth, Abbas or Xander Zayas. Now, I have Xander Zayas winning that fight against Abbas Abreu. I do. It's just going to be Xander Zayas getting caught flush with that type of puncher. I just don't know how he will react. I don't. That's one of the concerns. I don't know how he'll react. I don't know how he'll react. And going the distance late with somebody that can carry that type of power and also stamina for a hot minute into the championship rounds, yeah, it's going to be a danger. It's going to be real danger. It's going to be a real danger with the young career of Xander Zayas trying to early in his career stamp his name as, okay, hey, I'm not just some young brother that is a bunch of hype and, oh, I got a bunch of stuff going for me with boxing ability and fame and potential and all that stuff. No, you're going to be tested. He is going to be tested. But I do think he'll be able to pull it out in the end, in my humble estimation. Let me see. You're not supposed to see it, but feel it. Well, you're not supposed to see it, but I feel it happens due to inactivity and levels of step up. Now, is this in regards to what is it? Is this in regard? What is this in regard? I feel like this is in regards to something you chatted earlier. I'm trying to see if I can find it. What was it? What is? I feel like this chat is in response to something. I just don't know what it was. So if you could refresh my memory, if you don't mind, so I can put this chat in its proper context, so I can actually give a proper response to it. I just can't remember what was this in reference to. I can't think of it. But chat again, please, and let me know what that chat was about, so I can address it correctly. Hey, I'm the guru of boxing. Every time you doubt it, I pull you on. Hey man, look, I've been right in some situations. I've been right in some of these situations. Like I said, I don't know everything. I tell you that I don't know everything. I'm just simply giving you the best opinions I can. Like, I'm trying to be raw and authentic. I don't know how else to be if I'm being completely honest. So if I'm wrong, hey, I take it on the chin. Y'all know me. But let me keep on reading with you all. I gotta say, Virgil doesn't want the Fundora fight. He wanted the Xander fight because it's easier. Now that I can believe. I can believe that he would love to take on the easier challenge of Xander Zayas. I think I even said that after Zayas won the title, when Xander Zayas became champion, I said, hey, buddy, this is a young career, incredibly flourishing with the potential that he can be. No question about it. I'm excited. At the same breath, I know everybody's going to be gunning for him. I know it. I know everybody will be gunning for Zayas. With Zayas being so young. So, I say inexperienced, not because it's a derogatory statement. He's only, 20? He's the second youngest champion in boxing right now. Abdul Basis is 21? 21, 20? No, I think he's 21. Xander Zayas is 22. So it's like everybody's fiending to try to still take advantage of the lack of in-ring boxing experience that we've seen, though he's already been at a high level from these other people that are from a skills perspective, look to be and have fought at an even higher level. So I can imagine that might have been the case. But even still, it's a mess. Even still, it's just a mess, because even if he wanted the likes of Xander Zayas, it still just is not the fight that the fans want to see. And mind you, I'm a man of the people. I'm a fan as much as I am, or at least as much as I'm trying to be, an attempted pundit. And hopefully, quality analyst. Hopefully, prayerfully. Like I said, I don't know how good I am. But if y'all think I'm good enough to take on that role, I love it. But You can still get Xander Zayas later. You can get him later. Just give us the fight that we want now, because if it marinates too long, it's just going to be a pain to deal with another fight that we wanted to see that doesn't happen again. And I just can't stand it. I just can't stand it. Let me see. Virgil went wrong by winning 50-50 versus Xander. Yeah, you know what? He won it 50-50 with Xander. And it was asking for more against Boots Ennis because Boots was coming up into the division, even though, like I've said before, Boots is a bigger star. And in this specific fight, if it's a no belt versus no belt situation, there's no way in the world anybody would assume, with all respect to Virgil Ortiz as a fighter, that you would be in the line to have the bigger piece of the pie. Again, shooting yourself in the foot, like you so aptly put. You're messing yourself up. But let me see. Yo, love you. What's going on? What is it? What is that? 28,000? 281,000? No, excuse me. I'm sorry. Love you 281. That's what I did. That's what it is. I love you 281. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. Hopefully you're leaving a like on the stream. And hey, shameless plug aside, hold on a second. Please leave a like on the stream. Keep on liking and sharing this show to push this to the algorithm. If you haven't already, it helps out immensely. Just one click, that means a world of difference. No question about it. If you would, it would mean the world to me. Absolutely. Please keep on sharing the show and keep on putting your chats in the description. Hey, if you would like to keep on supporting, we got Cash App and PayPal, as well as links down below, as well as you can come through and give through super chats and super gifts and stickers and all that stuff. If you can, would mean the world to me. No question about it. Let me read what you got to say, love. This is how this goes to show. Virgil will probably fight Boots or anyone at 154, but Oscar is the problem. He moves fighters the way he wants them to move. He does. Mind you, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Oscar De La Hoya did not want Ryan Garcia to fight Tank Davis when Ryan Garcia and Tank inevitably did fight against each other. And that was one of the reasons I believe that Ryan Garcia also left Golden Boy when he was under Golden Boy, due to the fact that De La Hoya was pushing against what was the biggest fight of this current, century. I would say decade, but I think it happened in when did it happen? No, this current decade, 2023. It happened, blew the roof off the place. Was a fight everybody wanted to see, was a fight that made sense. And Oscar didn't want Ryan Garcia to make it happen. And was aptly trying to get him to stop. And so that's why we keep having so many people. And it's an indictment on the fact of, as a promoter, and again, this is personal. This is personal opinions. Be clear, this is a personal opinion to what exactly I feel. Because again, I'm not a promoter, I understand. But at some point in time, there's got to be a leniency, and in you as a promoter, to allow your fighter to prove what they are. I just don't get why that is so difficult and so hard. I just don't get it. Let me see. What are you talking about? Virgil doesn't want the Fundora fight. That's stupid. Why don't you question? Excuse me. Hold on. Who's this in response to? What are you talking about? Virgil doesn't want the Fundora fight. That's stupid. Why don't you question Fundora fighting Thurman? The champs have options. They know they don't want the smoke with Virgil Ortiz. Now, that Fundora would be open to fight Virgil Ortiz if that fight did come through. I'm of the opinion. Again, he hasn't said that publicly, I understand, but the way that he's been moving, like I said, we matched with Tim Tszyu, making him quit with the improvement that he's done as a fighter, I think Fundora would be okay with, okay, hey, I'll take the risk. We do what we got to do. I think he would. That's me. But again, that's opinion. Fundora versus Thurman, which was a fight that, again, I've said previously, I didn't think that Thurman deserved to have with his only one fight back in the division against Jarvis, which again was a knockout. He looked better than we thought he was going to look with almost a 3, not even almost, an over 3-year layoff, which was impressive. But I didn't think that he should have gotten that fight with Fundora. I did. With Fundora's probably thinking, okay, yeah, this is an older champion with this type of height advantage. For him, hey, at the time of this fight, easy pickings, they want it. Apparently he can bring some good money. Okay, fine. But, like I said, didn't think it should happen from a deserved standpoint. But Virgil Ortiz, not wanting to, Virgil Ortiz not wanting to fight with Fundora was, again, he wanted this fight, and I've said before, he wanted this fight with Boots. Fundora as an option that Oscar De La Hoya kept on saying, yes, okay, cool, it was there. We can negotiate and pursue his words, which apparently, again, weren't lining up with what Virgil Ortiz was actually feeling. But we can go and pursue with other people, quote unquote, per Oscar De La Hoya's words. We can go and make other moves. Oscar was using that, again, leverage. We got options. We don't need you. When in actuality, they did need you. They do need you. And I would hope that because Virgil is making this move to try to get out of this contract to make this fight, that he's committed to saying, yeah, I don't want Fundora. I don't want all these other people. And I want the biggest dog out there, which is right in front of me right now, that's available to fight, which is Boots Ennis. Because again, everything makes sense. Whether we think we'll win or lose, different conversation. Just having the gall to make the fight, because that is the fight to make. That's all that we're hoping that we see him stick to us. And if he's making these moves to sue Oscar De La Hoya, seems like that's about right. At least, again, in my vantage point. He said it seems like that's where everything is leading towards. Now, if I'm wrong, then hey, everything blows up in my face. And next thing you know, we're calling everybody every name under the sun. If that's the case, that he gets out of this, hypothetically, he gets out of this contract and then still doesn't try to pursue the fight with Boots Ennis, which apparently seems to be the gripe that has been holding this fight and this whole contractual dilemma up. Why is it going to court? If that's not true and everything blows in my face, well, then hey, I was wrong. But hopefully I'm not. And hopefully this is actually showing him trying to move the needle and committing to it after all the dust settles with this lawsuit situation. But let me see. They should have demanded a fight, but everyone has options. In terms of, they should have demanded that fight, but everyone has options. Are you saying, so hold on, wait, time out. So, Bert, let me make sure I got this right. Are you saying that Virgil Ortiz should have demanded the fight with Sebastian Fundora instead of allowing for Keith Thurman to be able to swoop in and get that opportunity, when we have been saying that Virgil Ortiz has been a mandatory without a championship chance for years? That he deserves a championship opportunity because of his talent and who he has beaten at 154. And that Fundora should have been, especially after the Tim Tszyu fight when he made him quit on a stool, before Boots ever got up to 154, Fundora should have been the biggest option that Virgil Ortiz was attempting to pursue. Instead of letting Boots get up to 154, fighting Lubin in another preparation fight for a fight that, again, while it's a big fight, it's not for a title. And if you say you want to be a champion, then there was a champion that you could have tried to throw your weight and throw your name into the hat of immediately, but you didn't do. Is that what you're saying? If that's what you're saying, okay, I can follow that. I can follow that logic. Hey, I can follow that. I can follow that. If that's what you're saying, I just want to make sure I'm interpreting these chats correctly. Let me see. I just want the truth. Was saying Virgil was scared, but it's not true. Fundora has a choice on who he wants to fight, and he's the champ. He didn't. Oh, okay. He didn't choose Virgil Ortiz. He chose Keith Thurman. Ah, okay. I see what you're saying now. So turn it around. Your issue isn't with the critique of this whole Virgil Ortiz situation, at least for the most part. Your issue is the rhetoric going about with Virgil Ortiz. Why aren't we pointing that same ire against Fundora, who could have chose to fight Virgil Ortiz, but instead chose to fight Keith Thurman, especially after he just went through and made the likes of Tim Tszyu not just bleed profusely, but made him quit in the rematch and had us all saying, okay, this man is the real deal. He can give a tough time for anybody. And the biggest name out there that you could have if you want to choose somebody to fight for your title is, if you don't go for unified, if you didn't go to try to get the other belts as well, could have been Virgil Ortiz. But you chose Thurman coming off of a long layup. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clearing that. Now I get the perspective that you are trying to say. And in fact, I can actually do some research real quick to make sure that this everything lines up from the standpoint of how, in fact, Thurman got the championship opportunity in the first. Let me see, sir. Let me choose this real quick. He was sustained, like he went down to the leverage. I'm just doing some quick research as to how that fight got made so I can confirm that it was indeed that Fundora chose him. Hold on real quick. Hold on. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. Let me see. So, yeah. Yeah. Keith Thurman wasn't a mandatory fighter. He was a voluntary challenger. He was supposed to get a fight with Tim Tszyu for the title. Thurman was supposed to get a fight with Tim Tszyu for the title that Tim Tszyu had initially. But then what happened. Fundora got in, got the belts. Thurman said, hey, I'm back. I would love to fight for the title. And Sebastian chose him. So, yeah. He did choose. He did. And instead of fighting the likes of Virgil Ortiz, so I just had to make sure I search it up real quick so I can make sure I got my info right. But yeah, he did choose him. And it's like, you could have had Virgil if you want to do a voluntary challenger. And I don't even think it was voluntary. I think because he's the WBC interim title holder, it would have been mandatory. But he didn't choose him. Nor did the WBC make Virgil Ortiz the active mandatory. Like say, okay, hey, you got 90 days or whatever to negotiate to make this fight happen straight up with the mandatory, or else you get stripped. Because they could do that. They can do that with mandatories, and they didn't. So it's like, yeah, it's a shame. Let me see. What the Virgil Ortiz, or what the Virgil versus Boots fight not happening. So it is. So Daryl Anderson, here's a quick disclaimer as to what's going on. Let me give you a summary real quick. And for those of you tuning in, not trying to reiterate information, let me just give a summary real quick of what's going down with this whole saga of Virgil and Boots Ennis. Virgil and Boots were negotiating with each other. Eddie Hearn, De La Hoya, talking about we can make this fight. This is after Boots and Virgil stepped in the ring to try to talk and say, hey, we want to fight each other. Both of them said yes, bing, bang, boom. Now, it's being accused by Virgil Ortiz that Oscar De La Hoya is taking them out of potential economic advantage. In fact, I'll read it straight up. Let me read the quote again, straight up of the lawsuit. Ortiz's attorney and Ortiz's team are suing Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions to terminate their promotional contract due to the fact that Ortiz's attorney has cited declaratory relief, breach of contract, interference with prospective economic advantage, and the end of Golden Boy's exclusive content partnership with DAZN as grounds to end their agreement. This was all spurred, and it's also in the whole lawsuit, with the fact that Oscar De La Hoya, in part speaking on behalf of Virgil Ortiz and his team about hard deadlines, other options, 60-40 splits, and all that stuff, and trying to end these talks when Ortiz and his team said, we still want to discuss this fight. So you're hindering us from our money. You're speaking with stuff that we ain't say is cool. And all this looks to be in a breach of contract. And on top of the fact that you ain't even got a deal in place right now with DAZN or anybody to show the fights. Hey, we can, it's time for us to leave because you ain't doing what we need you to do. So the fight is not off. It was never on from the standpoint of somebody or of agreements have been signed and confirmed. But talks essentially are in turmoil because on the Golden Boy side of promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, Virgil Ortiz, and Virgil Ortiz's team all are beefing with each other right now as to, hey, what's going on and why are you not making this, why is this fight not just being so hard to make? Why are you saying stuff that we ain't trying to do? So, if you ain't gonna move like we need you to move, we can say that this is a breach of contract and we need to get out. So we can make this fight. At least that's what's inferred. So Virgil Ortiz is about trying to leave Golden Boy, straight up. And Oscar De La Hoya is on the cusp of losing another one of the biggest stars in his stable and arsenal. And it's a dangerous sentiment. It's a dangerous sentiment. Absolutely. He's taking the Canelo route. Yes, he is. He's taking the Canelo route. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I don't need you. I can go and be better on my own because you are making me lose out on stuff that I want to have done. So it's a shame. It's a shame. It's an outright shame. Let me see who's that? Who's it? John McSmith. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Are you pro ice or anti-ice? Bump ice. Forget ice. Get them out of here. They're terrible and horrible, and I hate everything that they stand for. Blank, blank, clear. Now, going back to the rest of the show. So, where does Virgil Ortiz go from here once the smoke clears? Perhaps free agency? That's what he's looking at. I mean, he's looking at free agency. He's looking at free agency. No question about it. Absolutely. He's looking at it. He could, mind you, he could go through, he could sign with Quisenberry for all we know. Shoot, we could see Virgil Ortiz go and sign with Al Haymon. We can see Virgil Ortiz go and sign with Al Haymon and say, bump this, I'm working with the PBC. Hey, let's make some fights together. As long as you make sure that I'm guaranteed big opportunities, yeah, make it happen. Now, again, what will be better or worse for him to go through? I don't know. I just know that he is looking to freedom, looking to separate himself from the globe. Or rather, not from the globe. Well, he wants to separate himself from the globe in terms of talent, but he's looking to separate himself from the chains that are binding him to essentially what looks like a bad deal. And it might be better for it because at this point in time, as much as we can say with Virgil Ortiz being a big time star, is there some blame as well that Oscar De La Hoya hasn't been trying to push Virgil Ortiz into these championship opportunities? That he hasn't been trying to help saturate the biggest star, or at least the biggest talent that he's got right now in his arsenal, to get these big time events under his belt, championships around his waist, calling out fighters straight up, saying this guy doesn't want to fight my fighter, this guy doesn't want to fight my fighter. We see other promoters do it all the time. Why y'all running from my guy? He's the best in the land. Y'all got the accolades. Sure, you got the strap, but you ain't beat the brother that's actually the king. Come see about him. Come on, let's make a deal. He ain't done that. At least from what I have seen. So it might be better off it might be better. Not might, it is better that Virgil Ortiz is a free agent. It is better. For the fans and for Virgil Ortiz himself. If you were really trying to negotiate for the betterment of your fighter, this type of kerfuffle, this gripe, this, essentially into this almost coup d'etat is the wrong word, but essentially this internal turmoil that we're all seeing bubble over into the public eye wouldn't have never been a factor. It should have never been that as a promoter, you and your fighter aren't on the same page as to where y'all are trying to move. It should never get to this type of way. It shouldn't. To where what I'm saying isn't in line with also what my fighter wants. Because my fighter is, like Eddie Hearn says, the client. That is the man. That's the person. Unless they've given me 100% trust where whatever you do, we will say yes to. And that's it. Buddy, you can't be just speaking and doing stuff and all of a sudden somebody else coming by from behind saying, hey, whoa, that ain't what we talking about. That ain't what we talking about. For all the stuff that we say about Tank Davis. And I mean all the terrible stuff that's going on with them right now, in and outside the ring. Understandable, it's bad. But the one thing that we can't say is that his entire team, when he speaks or when they speak, they ain't on the same. They are not in dysfunction. We can guarantee they on one accord. Everybody's speaking the same message, same way, with the same tone that matches directly with what Tank, as a fighter, as a client, and as a person and a businessman, would be saying as well if the camera was on him. Same thing. Same vein. That's what doesn't make sense to me. How do you get so far away from who's supposed to be your main guy? To the point that we're siding with Virgil Ortiz and his manager. And I don't even like his manager all that much for the way that he operates in certain situations. But still, we're siding with him and saying, hey, at least those two are saying, what each of those two are on the same page. How is Oscar so far separated? How is he so far off from where this is supposed to be a in-line type of contribution? Worse than that, how did it escalate so quickly to the point that this fight, it went from the biggest fight of, or one of the biggest fights of the year, was right on the cusp of being agreed upon, to all of a sudden, get me out of here. How does a relationship fall that far from grace that quick? That's my concern. That's my thing. How in the world? How in the world does a fall from grace happen this quickly, this adamantly? Within a week. Within a week. We were talking Tuesday. Oscar De La Hoya set a deadline. Thursday. Oscar and Virgil's manager said, hey, we ain't communicating with each other. This ain't what we want to do. We want to make the fight. Not even 24 hours later, get us out of this contract. We suing you and we want to be gone. How does it? I've never seen a relationship deteriorate this quick, without almost any previous signs of degradation in the relationship. I haven't seen this. I mean, this. You can argue this is the record. You can argue this is the record. I ain't never seen something fall this quick, this fast. Between fight, normally it's been months or even like a year of bad practice, bad institutions, from the standpoint of the structure of a promotion. Money's getting laundered. Somebody's stealing from somebody. You have lowballed me again and again and again. I need to leave. You're not looking out for my best interest as you haven't for multiple times. All of this is normally a building process that we can kind of track and follow a little bit more fervently, as the breadcrumbs are more spaced out, but they're there. I mean, it went from Monday to Friday, 7 days, not even 7, in 5 days. This went from they trying to throw their weight around to, oh my gosh, it's entire dysfunction and disarray. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's the craziest thing I have ever seen. Craziest thing I've ever seen, man. It's ridiculous. But again, we still want to hear from you in regards to the world of boxing and beyond. It is still the championship rounds. That's right. You all are still controlling the whole conversation for the entirety of this show. However long we go is however long you all want this show to go. Your comments, your thoughts, your opinions, your takes, all of your questions, your debates, whether it's on the NBA, whether it's on the NFL, whether it's on boxing, more stuff with Virgil Ortiz, more talks with Canelo Alvarez. Who do you think his next opponent will be in the world of Canelo? Will it be Hamzat Shiraz for a title? Will it be potentially Christian and Billy for a championship opportunity? Will we see the likes of Canelo fight Iglesias hypothetically for a world championship, since he's being teased as we're going to be the main event on September 12th is going to be Canelo for the title? Just about, he said it's going to be a headliner for a championship fight that you're going to want to see. It's going to be Canelo for a championship. Who is going to be your opponent? I am very interested to see who you all think that will be. In fact, I'll put it right here in the poll, or rather in the questionnaire down below. Who will cut Canelo next opponent for Yep. Who is? There we go. Yes, indeed. We're going to start a Q&A and see what you all got to say. Who is indeed Canelo's next opponent for a championship opportunity? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it all. If you have any questions or any now, this is the first time I've done this one from the standpoint of This is the first time I've done this for the standpoint of asking a Q&A inside of a chat. So we're going to see how exactly this may go. If it don't work, then we're just going to ask something else. But regardless of which, I want to hear from you and everything regarding the world of sports and beyond to see what you all's opinions and thoughts are. But while you're still getting your questions together, I want to see what else you all may have to say on anything involving the world of boxing and beyond. In fact, let me go through right here and give you some more news and updates in regards to anything with this. We got like some Adam Azim, if you didn't know, has been now calling out straight up Richardson Hitchens. Hey, look, we were saying he's getting ready for a title. We were saying he's ready to go and get some smoke. Now we got Adam Azim versus Hitchens as a real potential fight that can happen. Adam Azim again, the young star looking to be, taking over the world at 140 as another big dominant face that can do some real damage. And Richardson Hitchens has been somebody we've been saying, where's your proof? Where's the evidence? Where's the work with you as a fighter? Lord knows I want to see it, but we ain't seen nothing yet from you. In a hot minute, you've been calling a bunch of people out, John left, right, and center, and now if we see Azim beat and potentially knock out Lemos, who again, Gustavo Lemos, same buddy that we got to see Keyshawn Davis knock out when he came in overweight at 168 in the division of 135. We see Azim knock him out and handle him in a similar fashion. Hitchens, you better watch your back. And you better not duck either. You better not duck either. Because we want to see that. We want to see what you can do. We want to see where your line in the sand is for a quality type of fighter. Because you've been drawing a whole awful lot. And now it's time to get some work done to see what you can actually achieve and thrive in the reference of this whole landscape of boxing. Let me keep on reading what you all have to say on the matter. Did Jake give the tapes to police or on Tank when he backed out? No, Jake Paul, to my knowledge, had nothing to do with the tapes that police got within their custody when talking about the whole Gervonta Davis allegations of abuse, which now have been confirmed by police down in Miami. I believe it's Miami. So Jake Paul had nothing to do with giving that to them. They got that, I believe, from the club. I believe they got the woman's testimony and then got the evidence from the club directly that, yes, this is what happened. So we got to go get him. So, but I don't think that this is a situation where, Jake Paul caused this to occur. I don't believe. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't believe that's what's been the case. I don't think any evidence has been, if that was the case, and even we would have seen probably police even say that. But police give credit to him if he was indeed he gave it to him. But no, that sounds like more of a conspiratory type of situation. Kind of like what they were saying with the conspiracy with Jake Paul fighting and causing. It's a disgusting type of conspiracy. But people are trying to use Jake Paul as an excuse for he's the reason why we saw what happened with Anthony Joshua and the tragedy with his two friends over in Nigeria occur with the car crash. He's the one that caused it. You better be careful. We're going to shut that down right now. There is no correlation in any way, shape, or form with Jake Paul, with any of his fights and anything that subsequently happened after said fights on any acclaim. That is disgusting. That is abhorrent. That is essentially making light to some degree of a tragedy. And it is indeed taking away from the humanity of what occurred. In all actuality, in the worst of circumstances. So we don't rock with it. Not saying that's what you're doing in terms of Daryl Anderson, but I'm saying people that are trying to propagate that type of sentiment and thought process to stir the pot when this is a real world issue. It's not something that we're going to vibe with and rock with. Not on here. Not on this show. If you're trying to, not saying you're doing that in Dear Anderson, but people that are trying to do that, we ain't doing that here. Because we understand that is way bigger than boxing, no question about it. And it's just a straight up tragedy that we hate, that we saw occur. I mean, it's so sad. It's so sad. But at least on the good end of the spectrum, as we are talking about Anthony Joshua, which I didn't think I was going to be able to segue into this, and that was not the way I was trying to kind of ease in to this entire to this conversation. But we do have some news on Anthony Joshua post the tragedy that is the mental car crash, and it looks like he is indeed going back to what has been a safe space for him all the time, which is back in the gym. He's back in the gym. Thankfully, he's back in the gym work. He's back in the gym getting reps. And again, it's nothing serious. Again, it's just standard, regular, through the motions pad work, but it is him working back in the environment, or working back in an environment where, the abode where he feels comfortable, the abode where he resides. And I'm not playing any music for the sake of, I ain't trying to get copyright stricken. But this is good. This, at least for the sign of, would this potentially cause retirement to be firmly not just on his mind, but potentially on or in the forefront of his conscience and being. Because something like this, that's such a tragic sentiment, it would cause people to say, I need to backtrack, refocus, regroup, and this is bigger than life. And so I got to take inventory to some degree. That's normally how it could go. But this might at least put a little bit of a quelling on said sentiments and identity when it comes to Anthony Joshua potentially saying, we're gonna wrap this up and retirement is on the form. So it looks like he is gonna still be in boxing, which thankfully, again, with the struggle that he went through, look, credit to him. We're happy. We're happy that it looks like he is improving. We're happy that it looks like he is getting back to taking care of his, not just mentals, but all around being able to be in a good headspace. Thankfully, prayerfully, and hopefully this growth continues to happen as we keep on watching these fights unfold. Let me see. Look, I don't like Jake Paul, but I don't think he's that kind of person. He's not that low. Yeah, like I said, when it comes to I'm not saying that you were saying it. I'm just trying to, because there are some people that try to spout a lot of inflammatory things, and we like fun, we like being happy-go-lucky. We're all for being. We keep this. It's a debate show. It's a sports show. At least that's what I'm trying to make it to be. We want everybody to be involved. We want your conversation. We want your opinions. We want your outlandish takes, whatever they may be. We love the well of variety. But there is a line in the sand that we have to draw, and there's certain things that we can't let go through, because that's just that ain't right. That's one. That's absolutely wonderful, no question about it. But let me see. I got a feeling AJ is going to be even more dangerous. I hope so, because here's the thing with Anthony Joshua. I do hope that you're right, Anderson. I truly do hope that you're right. I truly do hope that you're right, because we've seen. We've had traumatic experiences happen with people in the past. Canelo Alvarez, right before he was getting ready to fight for a championship, his brother had gotten kidnapped by the cartel, if y'all remember. Or if you don't remember. That did happen. He fought on the day. Ooh, I hit my funny bone. But he fought on the day that he had to fight the cartel as well as his opponent on the same night. Had to try to get his brother, did not get killed, went through, paid off the ransom, got his brother back, and then went out like an hour later, knocked the dude out for a world title. He talked about himself. It is It's not easy to be able to perform with drastic type situations. You guys, Buster Douglas, his mom passed away. What was it? What was it? Roughly a month or a week? It was either a couple months or a week before this fight with Mike Tyson, and he fought. Though we can say that Mike Tyson was not in the Tyson prime that we know, because he was on drugs, because he was on cocaine, because of the whole situation with the Robin Givens situation, Don King as well sabotaging him from the inside out with how he was perpetuating his career. All that stuff was bad. But even with that being the case, Buster Douglas fought the best he had ever fought and would ever fight in his career because of that motivation from grief. It was a shame, because you hated it, that's what it took. But you saw what it brought out. He got up from a knockdown that Mike Tyson put him on, and then boxed beautifully, did some insane level damage, and knocked out, at that point in time, the baddest man on the planet, pound for pound #1 in the world, as well as one of the greatest heavyweights we've ever seen. Grief and pain, strife and struggle, all can be a catalyst of your ability, man, woman, or child, to come through and change yourself, to have a added incentive. I ain't got a choice, but I gotta be better. I'm fighting for something more now. Even if it's just I gotta quell the pain. I gotta win. I'm fighting for the memory. I'm fighting for the promise I made. I'm fighting for the friendship that we had, because this is what you would have wanted. That can be what Anthony Joshua gets from this insane tragedy. Again, I'm not making light of what happened. I'm giving an example of how from the darkest of days, we've seen people be able to come through and go and evolve and thrive. Usyk, with the whole situation with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, which again, Russia is wrong for them trying to overtake Ukraine. Absolutely. But with the countless amounts of people that have died, of his own people, potentially his own family, it's had to go through. And pass away, friends, relatives, who knows who he may have lost in this entire war. And he has had the thrust upon responsibility of being the beacon of hope for his entire people. And all of a sudden it has evolved him into, I'm fighting with a bigger weight on my shoulders, and it's turned him into one of the greatest heavyweights we've ever seen, with a run that at the top end of heavyweight boxing that can go with the best of them, the undisputed king of this era. When it comes to heavyweight boxing, undisputed, no, not even a debate. There is nobody better in this generation of heavyweights than Usyk, period. And he had to take that grief, that pain, that struggle, and turn it into something to become hopeful, not just for himself, but for those around him. That's what AJ might be fighting for, as he eases his way back into boxing, which seems like he is back. He's fighting now with not just the memory of his friends and trainers, but with their family and their trust, the relationships that he's had with them, the people that were attached to his trainers and friends. He's now fighting to keep their hopes alive, from the standpoint of, hey, you represent now the best of what they were. And you knew them on a level that even to some degree we may not have known them. They lived through you. You've all seen the anime with Ippo, or Hajime no Ippo, when the coach slapped Ippo on his back. He left that mark, that palm strike in the middle of his back to give him extra motivation. And whenever he would fall, all of a sudden they helped the hands of his coach, advisor, trainer, stable mates, friends and family, all were still able to prop him up to fight against defeat. Visually, but also emotionally. That's what we can see Anthony Joshua deal with. And if so, it's going to be exciting to witness. And if that's the case, we could see in Anthony Joshua that, hey, as much as we may have counted him out, if that causes a change, a metamorphosis, this Anthony Joshua can be very scary. He can be very scary. Mark my words. Mark my words. Mark my words. He can be very scary. He can be incredibly scary. And so we can't wait to see how this turns out. Hypothetically, with AJ eking back into boxing. Al Booger, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. We're so happy that you tuned in and that you're live with us on our show. We appreciate you. And again, please leave a like on the video. Keep on chatting and commenting on what you got to say, what you want to feel, what you want to talk about. It's still the championship rounds, and we want to hear from you, the viewing and listening public. And if you would, keep on supporting the show. We got Cash App, PayPal. Leave a like on the we got also stuff in the description. And don't forget, Cash App, super chats, and super gifts, all that stuff. If you can support the channel, would mean the world to me. Absolutely. And again, we can still talk about the NBA, the NFL, what's going on in the world with the All-Star break coming up. Wemby's injured. LA just lost to the Hornets. Hornets is not beating LA and OKC in dominating fashion. What the world's going on in Charlotte? My gosh, we can talk about it all. We can talk about the hopes with the Houston Rockets. We can talk about the more with the playoffs in the NFL. We can talk about, like some people have right here, we can talk about the likes of Wilder and Usyk, which again has now been, it's looking like it's getting ready to be confirmed fully right now, as we got some news coming up here in the world of boxing. Let me pull it up. Let me actually pull up the direct thing. And Y2 Dre, also, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm about to address your question real quick on whether or not it's official. Give me a couple seconds. I'm getting ready to address it right here, right now. But let me see, Bravery, what's going on with you as well? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. Let me see. We got you on the big screen in the office, man. Well, hey, look, hopefully they are listening. And if they got some questions, put it in the chat. Whoever's around you, and tell them to pay me. Doggone it. I don't care. If you got 8 people there, guess what? Pass a collection plate. I better get $20 from you specifically, baby. Yeah, since you're around people, they know me. They know who I am. They know what I do. So guess what, buddy? They want to ask something. We charging them. You're doggone right. Hey, look at this. We charging them. No question about it. Absolutely. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. As again, we joking, we have our fun. But we just appreciate you all tuning in. No question about it. But let me see. Wilder versus Usyk official? Well, it's just about official, as I will give you up to the screen right now, as per a couple of outlets, as per this outlet in the world, Boxing News. I thought this was a WBC, but in fact, it is just another news outlet in the sport. But Wilder versus Usyk stunner. Reports from the UK that IV Boxing will announce Usyk versus Wilder tomorrow for July 11th in San Francisco. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes. The Bronze Bomber going up against essentially the Joker. Not Nikola Jokic, but Alexander Usyk. But he might as well be the Joker of boxing, because at this point in time, he's about as dominant as Nikola Jokic is in the NBA. Got some of the best footwork in the land. Has now shown that he's got some of the better power that this heavyweight division has to offer, as he's knocked down and hurt Tyson Fury. He knocked out Daniel Dubois. He hurt and rocked Anthony Joshua. He knocked out Daniel Dubois twice. Actually, he's been on a tear. Undefeated, undisputed, formerly undisputed. And now they're looking at it still unified with him having to drop the belts. But even still, going up against now, in this era of boxing, the biggest puncher that we've seen of the last, arguably 10 years, and one of the biggest and the greatest right hand I think we've ever witnessed, in the likes of Deontay Wilder. And will the bronze statue get the rust off of his body and be able to go and get one more rise to fame as a unified, or not even as a unified, just as a champion straight up, going up against the best, the best heavyweight in the world and pound for pound top 3 fighter in the world in Usyk. It's getting ready to go down. I'm telling you, it's getting ready to happen. Now, it's getting ready to happen. Now, Wilder does not deserve this opportunity. Be clear on that. Do not let anything fool you. This should not happen. This shouldn't happen from the standpoint of merit. It shouldn't happen because Wilder has lost what? 2 of his last 3? Last fight was a better performance against the likes of Herndon, even though it was the fact that it was only better because he won, because he got beat to Kingdom Come by Joseph Parker, then got knocked out by Big Bang Jang. So he's been trying to uptick his career yet again, and we would hope that he has finally gotten rid of Malik Scott and learned something new to be able to go and get better as a fighter. But even still, if he hasn't, buddy, this is his last hurrah, and it's going to be his last big payday. It will. Outside of a potential fight with Anthony Joshua, which even right now, that might be, it's unknown whether that will ever actually happen. The biggest fight with AJ right now that we're looking to have make a reality is AJ versus Fury, in the biggest all-UK war we'll ever see, potentially in our lifetime, from a standpoint of hype and big name against big name, hypothetically. But Wilder, as much as he shouldn't be in this position, has the means to potentially shock the world. Because the one thing he's got for him is power. He ain't good with movement. He ain't good with his feet. He's gotten away from his jab. The offense that used to be so dominating and the reckless nature that he used to fight with such vigor, such raw emotion, literally pulling off Euro steps inside the ring before knocking people out. It was insane. Athletically, and even now athletically, he has the capacity to still be one of the most imposing figures in the sport at 6'5", 6'6", 212 to 220. At his best weight, he's able to go through with that lanky frame, some of the longest arms in this division, coupled with an explosiveness that if he utilizes it one more time, can go and shock anybody in this division. He can cause an upset in this fight. It just most likely ain't gonna be like him because he has regressed so much. But people are still going to watch, and I guarantee you, it will still bring in big bucks. I promise you that. So people still going to watch, whether or not it's for better or for worse. People will still tune in for that fight. But it's getting ready to be confirmed in, if that report's true, by tomorrow, at least within the weekend to next week. It's supposed to transpire. So it's going to be exciting to see. No question about it. Absolutely. I can't wait to see it. Oh, strictly because of the fact that, hey, this could be an opportunity for Usyk to take out all 3 kings, in the heavyweight era. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Usyk. From a legacy perspective, being able to say, I definitively beat them all. Though with Wilder, it's going to be in a very much diminished state. It's going to be something to that when it looks at the annals of history. Though in the immediate, yeah, we're saying, shouldn't have, which still bodes true. But even still, we got more stuff that we can discuss in the world of boxing and in the world of sports as a whole. While you all are still getting your questions together involved in that, we're going to swiftly make an attempt to change gears over to the world of the NBA after this last topic dedicated to boxing, as we got to talk about Brian Norman Jr. real quick. So stick around. We about to talk about Ja Morant. For those of you all the Grizzly fans or just fans of the NBA, we about to talk about Ja Morant and the drama that's getting ready to ensue over there. With officially they got trades activated that they want that brother gone, or rather he wants his butt gone out of Memphis. Oh yes, indeed, it's gonna be a lot of stuff to discuss. But even still, let me talk about Brian Norman Jr. real quick in the world of boxing at 147. And if you did not know, Brian Norman Jr. is indeed shifting gears with his trainer, and we now know who he's going to be under. We thought it would be Bomac as the best situation. Now it's going to be the likes of, drumroll please, No, well, you know what? It's not a drum roll, but it might be the apropos sound because he's training with Derrick James. That's right. Smooth head, Derrick, bald head, glistening under the sun. Derrick James with honestly, a pairing that I don't know if it's going to be the best thing for him. I will be completely honest. Looks like to be the new training persona that is going to mold the career of Brian Norman Jr., who, again, for those of you who didn't know, Brian Norman Jr. got knocked down and absolutely washed by the likes of Devin Haney in a 12-round unanimous decision, a losing effort to lose his WBO championship. He is 24 years old, has nearly every fight won by KO, is one of the most destructive punchers in this division, but the brother's got a lot to learn when it comes to elevating at the elite championship caliber. Now, I am not saying Derrick James is a bad coach in the slightest. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, over the last track record of what he's done with Ryan Garcia, over what he's done with the likes of Errol Spence Jr., and over what he's done with other trainers that have tried to go under his wing, something about his philosophy and his game plan and the opponents that he's been losing against seemingly has not been gelling as it was when he was seen as the best trainer in the world and one trainer of the year. Rightfully so. No question. He deserved that award. But it seems like there's been a big fall off, a very big fall off. As I'm drinking my tea. It's been a very big fall off from that production to now over the course of the last 2 years. Since his loss to Errol Spence Jr., it's been a downward slope seemingly. Or at least it hasn't gotten back up to the heights of what he was when everybody was looking for him as the it guy. So it's going to be, I'm going to say, and I'm going out on a limb, opinion, I don't think this is highly advantageous in the long run for Brian Norman Jr. Most likely, if this works out great, fine, cool. I'm all for it. You found your guy. Happy for you. Blessings as you continue on. But if you ain't found your guy, look for this to potentially be a 1 or 2 fight partnership. That then he goes and finds somebody else. Which again, I'm begging that he goes to get to Bomac. I'm begging that he goes and fights with Bomac. I'm begging. Because if he does that, they don't perfectly encapsulate or better to accentuate the style that is the destructive nature of Brian Norman Jr. But again, that's just me and my 2 cents on the matter. But as we still going through and still getting your questions together, we still got what? We're still trying to at least get 2 hours on this show. So now, as you're still listening through, we cover other stuff in the sports world as well. We still got a lot of stuff in boxing. We got some other fans right here in the world of the Welch Report. So we're going to cover a little bit of NBA if you don't mind, as we got a lot of stuff in drama in the world of basketball, specifically with not just trades with the Atlanta Hawks trading the likes of the Wizards, which we touched on earlier in the month, but also now Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, hey, look, they're searching for a trade. They trying to get going. They trying to get out of here. Memphis is trying to renege on Ja Morant potentially being a superstar asset, or more importantly, we're seeing the likes of Ja Morant trying to say, I don't vibe with y'all, I don't like y'all, get me gone from this whole vicinity. In fact, I even pull up the altercation that we had with Ja Morant in regards to him getting into it with his teammates over in the Grizzlies facility, and it can be. If I can find the clip, I'll find the clip. Here we go. As you can see right here, and I don't think there should be any music, but as you can see, him and, oh, you can't see, excuse me, I didn't put it on the screen. Let me go to right now in the world of picture-in-picture yet again, one more time. As you can see, Ja Morant going and jawing with the likes of his teammates, going at Vincent Williams, saying, look, I don't mess with you, again, using a little bit more explicitives, but saying essentially, hey, I don't mess with you. I don't rock with you, and this they're reading the quotes verbatim. I don't mess with y'all. I'm with whatever. Vince says, hey, let's take it in the back. Why? I'm right here. Words of John Morant. Vince, let's take it in the back. We've been here for 5 minutes, quoting John Morant. You're not like that. They're just saying, hey, buddy, knuck if you buck if you're trying to get stuff going. If you want to get stuff popping, we can get it popping right here, right now. You ain't got to waste no time. We got a court. We got open space. We can go and say, well, you want to start something, we can be something if you want to. Because all of y'all, again, for lack of better words, can braid my dreads because I don't care about none of y'all. I don't care about none. I don't care about this team. I don't care about this environment. I'm done with Memphis. Seemingly, that's what's taking place. And again, this is the video, lip syncing with the interactions, which has been making this viral trends around the world of NBA media, as well as if you delve into more stuff, breaking news with the world of the NBA. Per NBA Central, Pelicans are the latest team to show interest in getting Ja Morant. Despite the production dip, several teams have registered interest in trading for Ja Morant recently, including the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Sacramento Kings, the Toronto Raptors, and the Pelicans. League sources told Hoops Hype. Within league circles, there have been rumblings that Morant's desire for months has been to land with Miami. And so if that's the case, then Miami can be seen as destination number one for one of the most athletic point guards in the game in Ja Morant. Number two, potentially could be the Pelicans. Imagine we get the South Carolina boys working back with each other yet again, with the likes of Ja Morant and Zion Williamson working together on the same court at the same time as a tandem and a duo that can finally not just get some more buzz to that Pelican City, but hopefully, and this is a strong inkling of hopefully, it can get Zion Williamson on the right track of, hey, buddy, all this off-court stuff that you've been dealing with, you need to stop it. Because now you got somebody that you're familiar with. And y'all can potentially run like y'all did back in South Carolina with each other now, if y'all can make this thing work. Put the food down if you need to. He might have to put the women down and get stuff going. Because right now, that's been one of the biggest problems. Now, subsequently, Ja Morant has got some stuff of his own with the way he's been going out of with off-court issues, which again can potentially be a nightmare scenario for these two potentially combustible elements of persona dealing with each other. It could be a potential bad situation. But the upside of what it could potentially turn into is enough that the Pelicans are saying, hey, we will throw our hat into the mix and say it might be worth the risk. We'll make it happen nonetheless. And hey, if that's the case, then we can see something transpire. And with what we saw Trae Young get traded for, which was essentially a bag of chips and CJ McCollum, which I don't know what's worse, CJ McCollum or the bag of chips, if I'm being completely honest. Because, hey, I'm telling you what right now, Trae Young's going there to put up 50, average 35, and then get his max and get out. If he can build a culture down in the Wizards organization, well, credit to him. Hum diddly D. Great news for him. Because you proved me wrong. Because I don't know what you can do down there. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If we saw him get traded, essentially for just about a 1-to-1 trade, where essentially he got traded for a lesser star and not really many draft picks, Ja Morant, especially with the problems that he's had outside of this game, and with him falling into some of the similar calibers that Trae Young is, with it being a smaller guard in a bigger league where it's more positionless basketball, hypothetically, we could see the Pelicans get him without having to give up a whole bunch, without having to give up a lot when it comes to the standard of necessity for what the Grizzlies may be asking for in return. Now, assumingly they're going to try to get something out of him. Assumingly they're going to try to get the most value out of him. But Trae Young kind of shifted the market for what star small guards are going to be able to demand when they're trying to rebuild over in Atlanta and they rebuilt with CJ McCollum as their best saving grace. That ain't good. That ain't great. That spells some danger. Or fortunate turn of events. If you're the Pelicans. Shoot, if you're Miami. Without even looking, what did it, 16 and 30? Something along those lines. Let me check their record real quick. I believe they're like 16, 17 wins on the year, with Bam Adebayo getting the biggest, yes, the biggest star on their roster, but not necessarily the best. Well, I don't want to say he's the only one. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. That sounds like I'm hating. Bam Adebayo was great. You got Tyler Hero there as well, absolutely. But the rest of that roster, the rest of that team, hasn't really, from my perspective, been up to stuff. Right now, they're 21-20. Excuse me, I said it wrong. I was thinking of the record that they had previously before this recent stretch of games. No, they're 21-20, eighth in the conference of the East. And the Eastern Conference right now is wide open because everybody's hurt and everybody's in danger of being in a bad way. And so it's wide open. But they are barely above 500 under Cleveland. They're in the running right now with Atlanta for the play-in spot right now. Shoot, 2 losses and they go. 2 losses, they in the same situation as Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's out the playoffs right now. They're 17-24. That stint of Giannis being gone hurt them. And as of right now, they're 15 games back. Now, Miami's in a situation where, buddy, 2 to 3 losses can put you right downstairs with Brooklyn, Charlotte, the Bucks. That's bad. If they're going to make a change, they want to try to still have some hope of championship appeal. Them getting Ja Morant might be one of the best situations they can get. Drastic move may need to be done. And if anything, that Miami Heat culture, hopefully, though the city may be abound with a lot of distractions, it's a great city. But if you, the life of the rich and famous, you get caught up in it, you can get caught up in a bad way. That's the truth of the matter. That's not me trying to be hyperbolic. That's real. You can get caught up in a bad way if you mess around negatively, going and working with the likes of City of Miami. But with that Heat culture, Pat Riley style, Eric Spoelstra still being, I believe, and make sure ain't nothing happening with all these firings that have been taking place over in the NBA or over in the NFL. It might have bled over into the NBA and something may have gone on down over there. Okay, yeah, cool. He's still coach. I had to make sure. We've seen tenured people leave left, right, and center. He's still the coach. So he could help instill maybe a sense of better discipline and dedication to this game on the floor. That could be a great fit. It could. Hypothetically, it could. And if that's the case, then great. We can see stuff truly transpire and turn into a great advantage. But again, time will tell, because nonetheless, the world of basketball as well as the world of football, it's a mess and a half, with everything essentially imploding down from under. I mean, everything is just going apart. We're getting scared that we're seeing LeBron James getting close to retirement. He's got patches. He's saying more cryptic stuff in social media. You'll miss me when I'm gone. You hate me now. You love me when I leave, and all that stuff. His time is winding up. We don't know where the world Chris Paul's going to be when it comes to this retirement season. Could have ended 15 games in, because the brother ain't doing nothing with nothing. Nothing with nothing. Because he ain't signing nobody. And nobody really wants him at this point in time. And so it's a whole bunch. I mean, it's a litany and stuff. And off the backs of what we're seeing with Ja Morant and the whole trade rumors that have been going on with him, you got everybody trying to get everything out of Memphis. You got Detroit and Boston looking at some real interested elements from that Memphis roster, try to put on that team, potentially pair with Jalen Duren, like with Jalen Jackson Jr., Triple J. If we see what Detroit's built right now, down there in down there with the Pistons, we see them get some stuff going. And right now, mind you, they are leading the conference with the best record in the East at 29-10, which shocked me. My gosh. From the worst record in the league to the best record in the league, buddy, they got something brewing down there. They got something brewing. Not something brewing, it's overflowing. Cade Cunningham as a leader, coupled with Jalen Duren as a secondary star. I believe it's Osir Thompson. No, I'm sorry. It's an Amanda Reser that's on Detroit. I need let me make sure of that real quick before I start just calling out names. But either way, that whole conglomerate of young talent. You then get Jalen Jackson on there as another defensive anchor that can also take stretch to four, former defensive player of the year, widely considered candidate, a versatile defender that's got youth on his side. Look, Detroit could have something and it's a Sir Thompson, not Amen. Amen's on the Rockets. A Sir is on Detroit. But this roster with that, Jaden Ivey, who's been showing up pretty well, Karis LeVert, you got, again, Cade, Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, Javonte Green. I mean, from the sense of backlog and front five, they got depth that can be dangerous. Or you can see him go to potentially the Celtics. They got some interest in him as well. With them, crazy enough, still being second in the Eastern Conference as well. We thought they were going to be a complete shell of themselves. And they were looking like at the start of the season when they didn't have Jason Tatum, who's out for the year again with the Achilles injury. Gone, never to return up until 2026, 2027 season. They're still running strong. They get Jaren Jackson on their roster. Ooh, buddy. He can make an impact this year with the way they've been playing. But next year, oh boy. We thought they had to give everybody up. All of a sudden, it might look like, hey, we still going to have a great core. If we get that going through and we get that trade made, as the trade deadline is rapidly approaching quicker than we all may have expected. We got a lot of trades going on right now with news and speculation. We got the Clippers looking to potentially get DeMar DeRozan. And will that be a great fit? I don't know. I don't know. For at least for DeMar DeRozan, for John Collins as a potential trade to make happen. It's a situation where, hey, look, man, this type of offensive start, yes, could be helpful, but is it going to help you in the long run? Because right now, you need more than just another offensive scorer if you're the Clippers. There has been a lot of, to a degree, self-sabotage when it comes to how this roster has been able to look like they can get up to snuff and then just falter by the wayside. Mind you, the Clippers are having one of the worst seasons in the NBA right now with the record of, what are they, 8-26, 16 and something? Let me look up their record real quick so I can actually give y'all the true depths of despair that we're watching this team fall to. And mind you, they're falling without a bottom they can really cling on to, because it might not even be their means of success to be able to do anything. This team is, what are you? I can't even find them. They're 17-23. They are 10-14 in the conference. When it comes to point differential, they're losing. Shoot, said you crazy enough, they're losing close games, which is insane. But the last win streak, crazy enough, win streak, they won 4 straight, but it's been off the backs of still mediocrity. They're upwards at the bottom of the conference. Buddy, 2 losses, they're under Utah. 3 losses, they're vying with the likes of Sacramento. Sacramento is 11-30. At this point in time, if the Clippers stay around this means of very dominant, it's lower than mediocrity, straight up bad play, but outside of the recent levels of success, we're going to see this team potentially get a high pick in the draft and still not be able to get it. Because remember, their pick, I believe, is still owned by Oklahoma City. It's still there. So they ain't got no choice but to try to save the league, get good. They ain't got no choice but to try to help and do something better. But even if it's going to be mediocrity yet again, this DeMar DeRozan, as much as it is that the Kings may be looking to say, you know, we might shop DeRozan around and get rid of this duo that just has not been working for us in LaVine and DeRozan. We ain't lighted. We have, the beam has been shut down in Sacramento. Clippers, this ain't the answer for you. Again, I promise you, this ain't the answer for you. Because if you make this move, buddy, it could backfire. It can backfire incredibly quick. Oh, incredibly quick. It can get bad in a way that you don't want it. It can get bad in the way that you lose. You give up stuff. You gain a guy, more salary, but even less revenue. Because you keep on losing. And you don't get no picks involved as well. My gosh. I mean, just the hits just keep on coming. If you're down in Los Angeles, and if you're a Clipper fan, I tell you what, it's a shame. It's a shame nonetheless. But even still, is there anything else anybody wants to discuss in the world of basketball or in the world of the NFL? Don't forget, we still got some news going on in the NFL, if you did not know, as the playoffs are continuing this weekend, I believe Saturday and Sunday. As we have a litany of games that we got to discuss as we're waiting on the week to come through. You had the likes of was it 17? Here it is, San Francisco versus Seattle in a game that wonder if this might bolster their favorites to get to a championship in the Super Bowl, as Seattle, with their 8 Pro Bowlers, looking like one of the best defenses in the league, going up against San Francisco, who, with everybody for the most part healthy, can go through and still cause some very big noise. And the winner of this is going to face Los Angeles or Chicago. All of them also play on January 18th, so it's actually Sunday. And so we got 2 big-time matches, and Lord willing, I know, I said it, I would love for the Rams to win the Super Bowl just so we can say we lost to the Super Bowl champs in Carolina. But if what I wouldn't give to see Chicago all of a sudden get on the cusp of a Super Bowl, and what that city would be like in 15-degree weather, buddy, they'll melt the stadium with the amount of ruckus that they'll make in that place. They'll melt it. They'll melt it. They'll melt it. Don't care how cold it is. Chicago will tear up that city if they beat Los Angeles and they get to and they get to essentially 1 win away. My gosh, I dare say I'm pulling for Chicago to win this, just because to see chaos and anarchy. I just want everybody saying "Da Bears" all day long. Again, bratwurst and hot dogs abounding. I might just have one just to celebrate in kind if they win. I tell you what, it would be incredible to see. And also on the other side of the spectrum in the AFC, you got Buffalo versus Denver in what should be, I know Denver's ranked number 1. However, if I've said this multiple times, and I'm going to say it again, if Josh Allen fails to get to a Super Bowl without Lamar Jackson, without Patrick Mahomes, and even without Aaron Rodgers, with the biggest threats against him at the quarterback position, when he should be not just one of the leading candidates for MVP this year, but also when it's been that you've had better years last year and you couldn't produce because somebody always got in your way. If you don't get it done this time, I don't want to hear anybody saying that he's better than Lamar Jackson. I don't. Even the year that Josh Allen won MVP, Lamar Jackson had better numbers, more efficient numbers, more effective numbers, with less weapons. I don't want to hear if the Bills lose against Denver or against Houston or the Patriots. Again, the Patriots, again, showed that, okay, they are real with the trouncing performance in their last divisional, not divisional, in their, I don't want to say, is it wild card? No, not wild card. In the last game, when they trounced their opponent. It was like almost like 24 to something, like 24 to 10, 30 to something, whatever it was. New England proved, okay, hey, though they might have had the weakest schedule in the league from the standpoint of win percentage, they were still this newfound, Drake May is looking like a real killer. If they face him, they face C.J. Stroud and the best defense in the league, in the Houston Texans. I don't care who it is. They lose and don't win a Super Bowl. I don't want to hear anything about Josh Allen. Not that he isn't a good quarterback, but that he's better than Lamar, that he's better than Patrick, that he has always been better than them. Because this facade of everybody else can't get it done. I've been sick, and he's always got an excuse. I'm not vying with that. I'm not saying he hasn't been playing well. I'm saying that the production that he hasn't had has been a standard that has been held against other QBs in the league. Yeah, he's been able to skirt on by to a degree that he hasn't been nearly as egregious as you would imagine somebody who has been, again, of the modern day Brady Manning rivalry that he's had with Patrick Mahomes. Not as much ire and vitriol come his way as you would think, at least from what I've seen from the standpoint of the rhetoric around the NFL. But even still, between these games that are happening this weekend, I got Seattle beating San Francisco. I have Chicago. No, I can't even say that. I got Los Angeles beating Chicago, but I'm in the back of my mind hoping for Chicago to get an upset. You know what? Forget it. I'm choosing Chicago. Come on, Caleb Williams. Come on, DJ Moore. Make it happen. Let's see what y'all got. It's Chicago, yeah. You're doggone right. We want to see what y'all can do. I got them beating Los Angeles Rams in 15-degree weather, getting their way into the championship before they get to the outright Super Bowl, getting them into the NFC Championship game before they get to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm banking on, absolutely. And then in the AFC, I got, and this is going to be a big thing. I got the Bills beating Denver, but it's off the expectation that we don't see the Buffalo fold, and we don't see them falter. More specifically, we see Josh Allen perform like everybody's been saying Josh Allen can perform, and like he should perform without anybody in his way on the other side of the QB room that is on his level. If he can't get it done this time, hey, it's going to be a problem. So I got him expected to win against Buffalo. Then I got, between Houston and New England, I got Houston and that formidable stonewall defense being able to stifle the New England Patriots in their high momentum and get a shot at the AFC Championship game. And then winner of that, we'll find out next week as to who I will pick between the matchups in the championship games for the NFC and AFC as we get to later on in the month. But with all that being said, that's been my breakdown of the things beyond the world of boxing. Oh, we got some more people in the chat. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, but let me see what you all got to say real quick before we go and end off the show. Isn't Rocha versus Carell tonight? I thought that boxing fight was the weekend. Let me see real quick. Is it tonight? Let me check and see. Yeah, it's Friday. That is Friday. And again, mind you, I believe that is the last Golden Boy event that they got scheduled with the Zones. This is it for Golden Boy, for the standpoint of their contract being not renewed. So this is it. This is it here for them. But they fight tonight at, what time? Is it 7? 8 o'clock. They fight at 8 o'clock on tonight. I think there was one more chat that I want to read real quick. So Tim Tszyu versus Zarafa ended in a no contest. Ended in no contest. Wait. No contest. Wait, what? Ended in no contest. Wait a minute. What happened? What happened? Let me see. Fans lose as Sue versus Jirafa ends. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see this. Hold on. It was a disgrace. Fury as Sue calls Jirafa's cowardly act, exposes the ugly truth. What is this? It has been labeled as a moment that will be talked about forever in Australian boxing history. Now Michael Jirafa's chance to finally upstage one of the Sue brothers has been thrown into turmoil after claiming "I can't see" due to a cut on his left eye. And Jirafa bout with Nikita Sue on Friday night, or Friday afternoon over here in the States. The bad boy of Australian boxing suffered a laceration after a head clash between the pair. At the end of the second round, the doctor called a stoppage in the fight, which ended in a no contest result. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. A decision that left the Brisbane entertainment crowd furious. It's blurry. I can't see. Jirafa said before the fight was stopped. The fans threw cans and cups in the ring, hurling abuse and booze, or hurled abuse, and booed as Sue and Jirafa's team had heated conversations before the no result was announced. This was an extraordinary moment. The crowd is furious. This will be a moment that we'll be talked about forever in Australian boxing history. Extraordinary, unbelievable, says Ben Damon. Jirafa claimed post-fight he never said he was unable to see, instead claiming he only said his vision was blurred. Oh, this is but a lie. Oh, this is but a pull. Oh, yeah, he's done. Oh, he's done. Oh, he's done. He's done. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's horrible. This cat's finished. He changed his story. They got video as well. I was looking at. He said he couldn't see multiple times to the ref and his corner. Then changed and said it was only blur. I never said I couldn't see. Yeah, no, he ducked. He was just trying to get out. His stock as a bad boy, it's gone. It's gone completely. It's gone completely. Oh, he's finished. He is finished. That's bad. They will never let him fight in Australia again. They'll never let him fight in Australia again. I mark my words. Then we'll let him do that. But again, like I said before, we got to wrap this show up and send it home. After that shocking news, I think that's a great way to end off this show. Unless anybody else has anything that they want to say. Again, last call real quick. For any of the conversations in the world of boxing, sports, and beyond. Whether it's about Virgil ORTIZ, whether it's about the NBA, whether it's about the NFL, whether it's about the likes of Canelo and his return, Wilder and Usyk, Wilder and potentially can this be a stable return to boxing, or anything else involving the world of sports that we like to cover, NBA, NFL, and all? Yeah, take your pick. It's time for you to go through and shine. But if you don't got anything else to say, hey, we're going to wrap this show up and send it home. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. We appreciate your time, your effort, and your energy to the show. Please, if you can, leave a like on the video. Keep on commenting thoughts and opinions. Keep on subscribing to the channel. And please, continue to share the show with everybody that you know. Also, if you would like to give to the show, please, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description as well. Also, we have Super Chats, Super Gifts, stickers, and whatnot. If you can support the show, would mean the world to me to help invest back into the show. Arms to the empire to help us grow and flourish and shine with production and community. All with you and your support, we can make it possible. Go on ahead and rate us 5 stars on every podcasting platform. Be sure to go through and tell everybody else that you can about what this show has got going on. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to the show. You all mean the world to me, and you all help make this show oh so special, and you all help make this show bigger and better and grander and help make this show entertaining. And please, we got so much more stuff to cover as we go into next week. Be sure to be back here, same time, same place, same channel, right here for your viewing and listening pleasure. The Watch Report with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. The top 5 chatters for this episode are going as followed per YouTube rankings. If I can pull it, can I pull it up? Might not be able to even pull it. Hold on, wait a second. Hold on. Let me make sure I can pull up the rankings real quick. For some reason the stuff ain't vibing with me, so I can actually pull up the top chats for the world of this show. Yeah, I don't know why this ain't going. We'll do it next week. Here we go. Okay, I got it now. Number 5 was I Love You 281. Number 4 was Teddy Burkshot. Number 3, Dale Anderson. Number 2 was I Need a Burr. And number 1 was I Just Want the Truth. Congratulations on usurping Burr for the time. I believe it was Burr for the top spot. What's the Burr? No, it was Timmy T. Congratulations on usurping Timmy T for the pound best chatter on this show. We appreciate you and everybody else involved in the rankings and involved in making this show so great and so grand. But hey, I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Friday. Same time, same place. Be safe. Be blessed. Salute to you, and we out.